These are the world's biggest mob bosses. They broke the law and paid for it, so their bank accounts were full of billions of dollars while their crimes destroyed cities. Blood money was used to build private islands with huge mansions and powers that were stronger than governments. Ninth Anthony, it's fat Tony Salerno, $600 million Anthony feeling fat in the 1970s and 1980s. Tony Salerno ruled the streets of New York City as the powerful boss of the Genovese crime family. He was known for his trademark cigars and rough look. Born in East Harlem, Fat Tony made an incredible fortune of about $600 million through his criminal empire. Salerno worked his way up in organized crime by being very determined. His main source of income came from illegal gambling rings that operated all over Manhattan and the Bronx. These betting rings made millions of dollars every month as people bet on everything from horse races to sports games. His loan sharking business was also very successful, with desperate borrowers paying sky-high interest rates and facing dangerous consequences if they couldn't repay fat loans. Tony lived like a king because he was so rich. He lived in a beautiful mansion in Miami Beach with marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and priceless art. The property also had a huge swimming pool surrounded by palm trees and a private dock where his 90-foot yacht was always ready for last-minute trips to the Bahamas. Salerno had a fortified compound in upstate New York where he held famous parties for other mobsters and corrupt officials. Personal chefs made the best Italian food. There was unlimited champagne, and famous singers entertained the guests without asking about their generous host's weight. Even the richest real businessmen were impressed by Tony's collection of cars. In spite of his lengthy criminal history, his garage was home to several Cadillacs, a rare Ferrari, and a bulletproof Lincoln Continental with custom leather seats. Each car had secret compartments for carrying cash or weapons. Salerno developed expensive tastes. He wore custom-tailored clothes from Italy, solid gold watches, and diamond rings on his fingers. His cigars were brought in from Cuba at great expense, and he only drank the best-aged whiskey. Eventually, the police caught Fat Salerno. Tony was convicted in the famous 1986 commission trial that went after the leaders of New York's 5 biggest crime families. He spent his last years in prison, far from the luxurious life that his criminal wealth had given him. Salerno died in prison in 1992, but in the criminal underworld, he is still known as one of the richest and most powerful mob bosses in American history. Although Tony made it rain money on the streets of New York, across the ocean, another boss was filling bags with shady money and setting Europe's criminal world on fire. Michael's $750 million Michelle Zaza started out small, but became one of the most important people in the Italian Camorra crime family. She was born in Naples, Italy. During the 1970s and 1980s, Zazer's criminal empire was mostly based on smuggling cigarettes. His network stretched across the Mediterranean and brought millions of illegal cigarettes from North Africa into European markets. But the Italian crime boss didn't stop at cigarettes. As his power grew, he also started trafficking drugs, mostly heroin and cocaine. These business ventures made him a lot of money, and he eventually had a fortune estimated at $700 million. Zazza lived a life of extreme luxury that matched his huge wealth. He owned 3 huge yachts, each over 100 feet long. The biggest one, Lulch Cevita, cost more than $15 million and had gold-plated fixtures all over its cabins. Zaza had beautiful homes all over Europe. His main house in Naples was 20,000 square feet and had marble floors brought in from faraway quarries. He also took care of expensive homes on the Amalfi Coast, a penthouse in Milan, and a chateau on the French Riviera that were all worth around $30 million. The criminal boss spent a lot of money on memberships to exclusive clubs. He belonged to the best golf clubs in Italy and France, even though he didn't play golf very often. These memberships were mostly used to meet other rich and powerful people for business. Criminals knew about Zazza's huge spending habits. He was said to have lost $500,000 in a single weekend at Monte Carlo casinos. He also had hundreds of custom-made suits in his closet, each one costing more than $5,000. The gangster never went to an important meeting in the same outfit twice. It didn't come cheap for him to protect his empire either. Every year, he spent millions of dollars bribing officials and keeping a small army of bodyguards. His protection detail included former Special Forces soldiers who were paid far more than normal security work would pay, even though he was very rich and powerful. Zaza's bad behavior caught up with him in the end. In the 1980s, Italian and international police forces went after his operations. The crime boss was arrested many times and had legal problems before his empire fell apart. Zazer lived like a king off of black market profits. But the next name didn't just go after money. She spilled blood and flooded cities with cocaine until even the police were afraid to say her name. A 7. Gravela Witino $2 billion. In the dangerous world of drug trafficking, Griselda Blanco was one of the most feared names. She was known as the cocaine godmother and ruled Miami's drug scene with an iron hand in the 1970s and 1980s. Blanco was born in Colombia. Blanco went to the U.S. and made a huge fortune from drugs, which she later sold for $2 billion. Blanco loved Miami because she was in charge of the cocaine trade and was very good at it. Every month, her organization moved more than 300 kilograms of cocaine, filling the streets with drugs while her bank accounts grew fat with cash. Unlike other crime bosses, she stayed out of sight. Blanco proudly showed off her huge wealth for everyone to see. She lived in several massive houses in Miami, each one fancier than the last. Her main home had marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and gold-plated bathroom fixtures. Some of her swimming pools were built in unusual shapes, like one that was widely made to look like Colombia. Her home country Blanco had a famous jewelry collection. She had diamond chains worth millions of dollars, emerald rings the size of pebbles, and a bracelet made of pure platinum that had her nickname set in diamonds. Reports say that her most prized item was a diamond-studded pistol that she carried with her at all times. Cars lined the driveways of her homes. Custom Cadillacs, Rolls-Royces, and Bentleys with bulletproof glass and secret compartments. Each car was painted in a bright color and had personalized license plates. Blanco almost never drove herself. She preferred to be driven around Miami in these fancy cars. She once threw a birthday party for her son that cost over $1 million and brought in performers from all over the world. Blanco bought a private island in the Bahamas for weekend getaways and had a fleet of speedboats for quick escapes if she needed to. Her closets were overflowing with clothes.